Hello YouTube. I just thought I would give an update on my progress with Dana Howell's miniature shame golf, as we are 11 days into Season 2 and Season 1 is finished. This is a game that Dana created to attempt to help her power through her miniature backlog. Now, for my own backlog, I have decided to separate game systems. So right now I'm only working on Kill Team backlog, and my Kill Team backlog score is different from my War Machine backlog score, which is different from my Horde's backlog score, which is different from like board game backlog and that kind of stuff, rather than putting all my unpainted pile of shame into one big pile. I have also elected to only add units that I already own for a game system that I owned at the start of the time, as I come to actually use those units. Like, I have here some Space Hulk Gene Stealers that have been sitting in my Space Hulk game unpainted for some time. Those could fall under board game backlog, but if I use them as a Tyranid kill team, I may count the points toward kill team backlog. So Dana's rules were you get -1 point for finishing a model, +1 point if you buy a model, -1 bonus point if you give away or sell a model, -1 point if you complete a unit, -5 if you complete a start collecting, -20 if you complete a board game or starter set. And then I have added a -1 bonus point for completing model paperwork, which is like custom data cards, army list pages, and that kind of stuff. I'll show some of that later. And you get -1 for finishing army paperwork as well. Now, when I say finish, I don't mean just the computer graphic design portion of the paperwork. I mean the paperwork has to be printed and ready to use in a game. That's why I haven't awarded myself any bonus points for finishing paperwork, even though I did do a lot of paperwork work during this season. Then you get +5 points for buying a box within 30 days of release, bonus. +20 if you buy a start collector or a starter within 30 days of release if it's 10 to 30 figures, and a starter set within 30 days with its 30 plus figures. Now I'm counting the Octarius box as a starter set because that's what it is. It's not 30 plus figures. Technically I could probably give myself only 20 bonus points for buying it on launch day, but I will give myself the higher amount of points because, you know, I'm that kind of person. So, at the start of Season 1, we had 20 Marines for my Memoirs of Istvan kill team that were all unpainted. And over the course of Season 1, I managed to paint all of those minis. And I counted those as 4 units because each unit, as it were, unit, as it were, is a different color scheme and a different setup, but the 20-man roster, that's what I painted. My Tau, I put them on the list here. They had no unpainted models. They were all already painted when we came to Season 1, so I don't get to score any negatives for painting them. My Chaos team, the Illuminated and the Cult of the Ancient Muse, they were, none of them were painted at the start of the season, and so we take no points off the score for those. And the terrain, I've got about 20 pieces of terrain. The Kill Team 2018 Starter Set number 2 terrain, and the Command Edition terrain, which I had before we started Season 1, and I have them listed here because we're gotta paint them at some time and they count toward the score. So Then I bought the Octarius box on release day, and that gives me a 50-point bonus points, which is a bad thing because this is golf. And then I sold the Krieg, which is 10 models I sold. So I get negative 10 bonus points for that, and positive 10 points for acquiring 10 new models, so that is a net 0. And I get positive 11, oops, I gotta add positive 11 for the orcs, because there were 11 orcs, and I sold the orcs to my brother actually, so he gets the orcs, and a local guy here got the Krieg, and someone locally got the terrain, which gave me net 0 on all of these, so a grand total of 50 points that I score bonus from buying that box. I get no points taken off for the barricades and the measurement tools, which is all that I kept plastic-wise out of Octarius. It was cheaper for me, being a Canadian, to buy Octarius, sell the terrain, the miniatures for both armies, and keep just the rule book and the Battlefield Essentials measurement tools and barricades and that kind of thing, and the cards that come in the Battlefield Essentials set, than it was for me to buy the Battlefield Essentials set and the rule book, because it was 230 Canadian to buy the box, and it was 24, I think, for the Battlefield Essentials, and then the rules were 60, and the compendium I also bought was 60, but that doesn't count in Shame Golf because it's a book. And so I sold the orcs for 55, the Krieg for 55, and the terrain for 70, which got me $180 back out of the 230, which meant I paid $50 for the rest of the stuff that was left from the set. And the rule book here in Canada is $60 on its own, and the $25 for the thingy would have put me at $85 for all the parts of the Octarius box that I wanted. And the two people who bought the miniatures from me, they didn't care about the Octarius manual because they were only planning to use the Krieg and the orcs for 40k. So I got to keep the Octarius manual, which has the Octarius missions and the rule sets for building the veteran guardsmen and the commandos fire team. So, I mean, I could probably sell that for another like $10-20, but I like having it. I'm a Vorthos at heart, so keep that for the fluff, which means I had an unpainted total at the start of the season of 105 points. I painted 20 points, and I got plus 10 bonus points for buying Octarius.
Mm-hmm.
So I also, this season, I did a lot of paperwork. Oops. Cancel that. Let me go over here. Here we go. Data cards. Memoirs of Istvan. I've got these ones as PNGs in addition to their SVG format, and they're the only ones that are fully complete in terms of like actually having the model's picture in them too. So I don't score any bonus points yet for these because I haven't printed them, and I want them to be fully printed and ready to use in a game when I score the bonus points for them. So I'll do that later on down the line, but I'll show you the actual miniatures that I painted this season are here. My Memoirs of Istvan, 20-man kill team roster, 5 Emperor's Children, 5 Luna Wolves, 5 Death Guard, and 5 World Eaters. 2 of them are not legal for Kill Team at present, because I built this roster with Kill Team 2018 in mind, and 2 of the guys, Vincenzo here, Vincenzo with his 2 chain swords, and his bolt pistol, his jump pack, sorry, is not legal in Kill Team 2021, nor is Jan Kavari here with his bolt, gun, and storm shield. That configuration is not legal for Kill Team 21 either. I do still have to put some varnish on these guys, so that's the next step for them, but pardon me, I am fielding them this edition as Death Watch, because they are, more of them are legal if I field them as Death Watch than if I field them as regular Tactical Marines. And I don't think I should have any problem with opponents going, "Nah man, you don't have black armor and the Death Watch silver shoulder pad. You're not allowed to field these as Death Watch." Of course, if I went to a tournament, I'd ask the tournament organizer before I brought an army like this. But I never planned to go to a tournament. And then as well, I made cards for my other teams as well, but they're not finished. They don't have the pictures of the units on them, so we won't go over those. But I also made this index for my Memoirs team, which my computer is being a jerk right now. It takes a while sometimes, I guess, to load. But this is just my index that has my army list and my roster and all of that in it. It shows you oh, come on. Here, let me go back up to the top. This is just the no, I don't want to reopen closed PDFs. This is just the fluff and the fluff and the other things about my team. So you can see who you can select, and then there's the matched play roster for these guys. And then the index also has all the data cards in it, just like if it were pages in a compendium. Now I also do plan to make cards for their equipment and other optional extras, because obviously you don't want to write the equipment on a unit's data card in Kill Team when you have 10 equipment points to spend and you're supposed to spend them before the beginning of each game. After you've selected your Kill Team, then you select the equipment. So I don't want to have the same equipment be tied to a person by their data card. You know, I would much rather have little equipment data cards that I can put onto these data cards. You know, William has a grenade of some sort, you know, a frag grenade or a whatever other sort of equipment I might want to run on different people in my team. But I actually haven't played the new Kill Team yet, nor have I played the old Kill Team, because I bought in during pandemic with my wife, and we have a toddler, and with our son being 2, we've only really had time to do hobby side of things. We haven't had time to actually play any games. So, but I'm getting off topic from the shame golf. I better go back there. So my grand total for this season is 95 points. And then for next season, for season 2, I've already painted 8 Chaos Marines for my Illuminated Alpha Legion kill team, and my 12 Cult of the Ancient Muse cultists, which are made out of Escher Gangers. So that is good. I had sort of started on them at the end of last season, but they didn't get finished until this season. So I've got two more illuminated guys who need painting, because I have to drop my roster down to 10 cultists from 12, even though I built and fluffed out 12 cultists for the last edition. You only get 8 in this edition, and it's no point in me running 12. And currently with 12 on my roster, there's actually no way I can run the cult champion, because the cult champion becomes your leader. Not that you would run the cult champion, as the aspiring champion for the Chaos Marine side is much, much better. But I can't run the cult champion right now, because that means I couldn't run an aspiring champion. And currently the 8 illuminated Marines I painted 2 icon bearers, 2 aspiring champions, one with a power fist and one with a power weapon. I painted 2 gunners, a plasma gun and a melta gun, and I painted 2 heavy gunners, a heavy bolter and a missile launcher. And since the Chaos Marine fire team is 3 men made up of warriors, gunners, and heavy gunners, and then if you don't have a leader, you get to swap one out for the aspiring champion. Currently, I can't play a 6-man Chaos Marine team, because I'd have to take an aspiring champion, and you're not allowed to take a heavy gunner and a gunner in the same team, and warrior is the only one you're allowed to take more than once in a team, or in a fire team. So I would have to take an icon bearer, an aspiring champion, and a gunner or heavy gunner in the first team, and the second team would have to take an icon bearer, a gunner or heavy gunner, and a warrior, and I don't have any painted warriors. So I'm thinking I'm going to paint up a guy with a bolt gun and a guy with a bolt pistol and chainsword, and run those as 2 warriors, and I'll just have to drop 2 of my cultists to make that happen. So then I get a 20-man roster of 10 and 10, which is not bad. By the way, just before we end here, this tray that I have the kill team on, it's a Cobalt Keep army display case, and it is magnetic, so you can turn the guys completely upside down if you want, and they don't fall off. And it has an acrylic top, but that's over on my shelf, because I was using the bottom tray part to just transport these guys upstairs to paint with my wife, or, well, to put the decals on yesterday that I put on the shoulder pads. So these are pretty cool. The one thing I would warn you about the Cobalt Keep army cases is they are expensive to ship to Canada. However, in my dealings with Cobalt Keep themselves, they were very good at finding me the cheapest method to get them into Canada, and he did say that he's going to make an effort to find better distribution for people in Canada, so that in future the shipping to Canada won't be so bad for people. So, but yeah, that's my shame golf score and my shame golf, and I actually finished an entire kill team this season, which is not bad. So I haven't added any bonuses for finishing an entire army, and Dana didn't have any for finishing an entire army, so who knows, maybe I could put like a -5 bonus for finishing an entire kill team, or more like maybe a -1, because kill teams are so small. But that's me. Or that's my score. And that's me rambling. Haha. Have a good night, everybody, and hope you're all making progress on your own miniature painting, because I know it's a feat to get paint on miniatures. So, keep up the good work. Bye.